If you want to see how I got this bomb look, keep watching. Hey dolls, so this is everything you'll need for the bleaching part of this series. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is just put on our gloves and then we're gonna prep our frontal. So that means we're gonna get a spray bottle and we're just gonna wet the hair so that we can, for one, brush the baby hairs and the stray hairs out the way so that we don't bleach that part by accident. And then also it's good because the water kind of acts as a barrier between the bleach and the hair. So if the hair is like wet and bleach gets on it, it won't really take to that part of the hair. And the frontal we're working with today is, of course, from So Stush. It's a 13 by 4 frontal body wave texture. It's 20 inches and it's medium brown Swiss lace, but we are gonna slay it and make it look flawless. So now that the frontal's ready, we're gonna put it on the foil paper and get ready to start bleaching. So really quick, I just wanted to show you what we're actually bleaching. Those little knots are the strands of hair being tied around the lace. And we're gonna bleach that because if you don't, when you place the frontal on, you can see the dots and it doesn't look as natural. So we wanna bleach those blonde so it'll blend with your scalp. Okay, so now we're back to the bleaching process. Right now we want to make our bleaching mixture. So we're gonna mix the BW2 powder with our developer. I personally use the 30 developer. 20 is too slow, it takes forever. And then 40 for me is a little too fast. So I think 30 is a good medium. And you kind of just wanna pour each one into the bowl and mix it until you get a cake frosting consistency. I usually just mix it, and then if I scoop a bunch up on my brush and then flip my brush upside down, if it falls off of the brush, it's too loose and you need to add more of the powder. And then if you're mixing it and it's really crummy, then that means it's too dry and you need to add more developer. As you can see here, the consistency is really like crummy and powdery. So we're just going to add some more developer to smooth that out. So at this point, I took my time and I added a little bit of each one until I got this thick consistency. You can't see it, but I was holding it upside down and it didn't fall. So I'm going to stick with this consistency and start bleaching my frontal. So with bleaching the frontal, in this video, I started with bleaching the hairline, but I actually think that you should start bleaching further back and move your way further, because I feel like the hairline, those are like probably single knots, so they process faster, and the rest of the hair, they're double knotted, so they process slower. So I would start back there to prevent over bleaching around your hairline. So don't follow what you see. Start in the back and work your way to the front. But when you place it, you don't want to push your brush down too much onto the frontal. Like you want to barely press it down, very minimal pressure, because you don't want to push it through and start bleaching the actual hair. You just want to bleach the knots. So here, now that I'm done placing the bleach, I'm just looking at the other side, just making sure I bleached everything and making sure I didn't over bleach anything and get bleach on the hair. Then I'm just going to cover the frontal up with foil paper. That helps cut the processing time down a little bit. I would say leave it for about 10 to 15 minutes and then go back and check on it and see how it's processing. After the 15-minute mark, you might want to check it like every 5 minutes because you really don't want to over bleach. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the bleaching process so you can see that's a black dot right there. That's a black knot. And then these little yellowish, orange-ish colors, that's how they look when they're bleached. So that's what we're waiting for to happen to all of the knots, or at least most of them, because this is the hairline, so you know some of it you're gonna pluck anyway, but you want to try to bleach most of them. So right now it's been 20 minutes, so I'm gonna wash these out soon anyway. I can never get the back. Maybe next time I'll try to bleach the back first, because it's not bleaching as fast, but it is bleaching. But I don't care about the back as much. You need that hairline though, for sure. So I've had my frontal bleaching for about 30 minutes and I'm gonna wash it out now. First, we're gonna use the Iso Plus Neutralizing Shampoo. Usually stylists use this like after you get a relaxer to make sure all the relaxer's out your head. If you lather it and it's pink, that means you still have bleach or relaxer or whatever in your hair. And you just want to keep rinsing it out and then re-shampooing your hair until the lather is white. So after we shampoo the hair, the lace might look like an orange-ish kind of color, so you want to tone that down with purple conditioner. I don't know why I didn't just buy the shimmer lights, but whatever. This is a generic brand that's in Sally's, and this is gonna tone down that brassiness. So with the neutralizing shampoo, I had to lather it about 3 times before I can get the lather to be white and not pink. And you just want to make sure you do that because if you leave the bleach on the lace, then you can burn yourself. That's what they say. It's never happened to me, but I don't want it to, so I just make sure I do that. So now we're just going to put the purple conditioner into the lace, and I'm gonna have it sit for like 10 minutes to really work into the lace and cut out some of that brassiness. After you let it sit for about 10 minutes, you can wash it out and then you can just let it air dry. That's what I usually do instead of putting heat on it. And then we'll move to the next step of plucking and putting our wig together. So now that the purple shampoo is washed out, I kind of just want to show you how that part looks compared to the part of the lace that we're going to cut off. So you can see in between the hairs, the lace kind of gives you scalpiana vibes. It kind of has a brown tint to it, where you can see the lace that's over my hand kind of looks like a brownish gray color. So that's what bleaching does. Now that we've successfully bleached our frontal, stay tuned for the next video on plucking. See you later, dolls.